Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? Okay, so today's video is gonna be another tease video. Okay, so basically I'm gonna break it down like studying, which I'm just gonna add a couple things to my last video, which I'll link above, and I'll put it in the description box. So I'm gonna touch on studying a little bit, and then registering for the teas, and like thinking about taking the teas. Like there's certain things that you can make sure of before you even register. And then I'm gonna talk about right after you're done and you get your results. Okay, so for studying, one thing I could add is definitely, like I said, take the practice test so you know where your weaknesses are. Like I thought I knew grammar pretty well, but I have my results right here. I got a 58 on English and language usage. So had I taken the practice exam earlier, because I took it the day before because I was just in such a rush, I probably could have scored like way higher on the English part and the math part. If for what it's worth, I got a 75 on the practice test. Yeah, I got a 75.3 on the practice test, and I got a 74 on the actual test. So maybe it's a really good predictor. You can let me know your experience. But what else with studying? With math, do the practice exam like I said. But on the practice exam, unless I'm missing it, I don't think it was timed per section. So I took a while. And when I got to the real test, I got cut off and I didn't get to do like 8 or 9 math questions, so that dropped my score considerably, like significantly probably. So I'm trying to see if I have, yeah, I took, for the practice assessment, I took 3 hours and 58 minutes. And for the proctored, it doesn't even say. So anyway, make sure that with the math, you're just like, you can think through the problems pretty quick. And then if you take the practice exam for ATI TEAS, don't forget to check your promotion folder in Gmail, because they will send you bonus questions. So when I was like cramming for the teas, like I could not get enough questions. Like that's all I wanted to do, because that's the only way to know your weak spots is questions. So do those practice tests. What else? I'd say flashcards. Like one thing I realized with taking the teas is a lot of memorization. So I really figured out like what I personally have to do to memorize, because a lot of my prereqs ended up being online and the tests were in proctor, so I didn't have to memorize, I just had to be organized. But this test really showed me how to memorize. Like for me to memorize, I don't take notes. Like I did, I guess it helped me. But towards the end, and I will link my genetics notes and all that, and the DNA and DNA replication notes in the description box, just to give you an idea of my notes and how I studied in the beginning. And keep in mind, they're not peer reviewed, so read them at your own risk. I'm not perfect. So what I was saying was, I don't take notes anymore. Like from now on, I'm taking notes on flashcards, because then, like, you write down the concept on the front, and then you read the concept, and then you, without looking at your book, like, recite the concept, and then without looking at your book again, write the concept down. And that's like so many repetitions there, as opposed to just taking notes. Like, just taking notes is like pretty useless with me. Like, I would definitely suggest this, okay? Like, just take your notes on your flashcards, and then you could take your flashcards in the car. You can do your flashcards standing in line. You can do your flashcards at a red light. Like, you can do your flashcards anywhere, and it just, you can bring them to work. Like, you could just make studying so easy and useful. Like, the notes thing, I'm done with it. I think I'm just gonna stick with flashcards and my book. So that's basically all I have to say on the TEAS and studying. When you're registering, the day of registration, the website is atitesting.com for everything. You register, you get results there, you order your flashcards there, you order your practice test there, you order the test there, like everything. And they even have NCLEX prep, which I saw. When you're registering initially, and I'm gonna put a screenshot of what it looks like when you're selecting a time for your exam. Now, I did the proctored ATI test at home. Okay, so like, I'm not leaving the house if I don't have to. Like, I want to leave the house for fun things and just stay home and get to work on things that have to do with work, because then that's more time for work. Yeah, like in that initial box where you're scrolling looking for a time to take the time and a date to take your proctored assessment at home, it's in Central Time. So keep in mind it's Central Time that you're looking at. So add your hour or subtract your hour, whatever you gotta do. I'll put up a screenshot of the map of the United States and like all the time zones in it, because I wasn't sure what the heck time zone I was in. I had to check. I mean, I was pretty sure, but I'm like, I don't know, because I never actually had to use a time zone. So if you're like even thinking about taking the TEAS, like you're in your end of your prereqs and you know you're gonna have to take it, keep in mind, like if you're purchasing a laptop and you know in a couple months or in 2 classes later you're gonna be taking the TEAS, make sure you have a laptop that has Chrome on it. And I'm gonna get back into this Chrome thing. You can't use an iPad for the TEAS or iPhones, no tablets. And on my website, I'll even put the screenshot up just to prove it to you. Like on my school's website, it says no Chromebooks. But on the ATI website, it doesn't say nothing about Chromebooks. It just says you need Google Chrome and you need like this version of it. So make sure that you just have a regular laptop with Google Chrome on it. All right. I bought an HP laptop. Now, the thing, it still worked, but it only had Microsoft on it. So if you're buying a laptop that only has Microsoft on it, keep in mind that to download Google Chrome, you have to switch out of S mode. And S mode, I believe, is kind of like a protective thing that Microsoft has. I mean, you would have to Google it and stuff, but I had to switch out of it to take this test. And to me, it was more important than S mode. Now, I almost made this mistake, but thank God I didn't. after you register and you're all scheduled and you have your laptop that you're gonna use, make sure you do the dry run. Yo, I'm gonna say it one more time. Make sure you do the dry run. And that's literally what it's called. I'll link the screenshot of it. But if you do not do the dry run, it's gonna be this whole thing, and you only have a half hour to log in and like get ready for the teas. Like, it's not like you just log in and you just click start and you start. Like, no, you have to scan your ID, take your picture, scan your room, and whatever else I'm forgetting. Like, make sure you do the dry run, and the ATI is telling you your laptop is cool, you know the procedure. And then with the dry run, I enable pop-ups on Proctorio. You have to download Proctorio. So make sure you do this dry run, because there's a little more to it than just the room scan and scanning your ID and all that. It's a little more to it. So do this dry run. Don't be sitting there like, oh, I'll just be fine. Like, I took 100 million tests already. Like, no, do the dry run. I'm telling y'all. Because then there's this part that I was struggling with in the dry run where you have to enable the screen sharing. And like the share button was grayed out, and I'm like, what is it? Why is it not letting me share my screen? But it's a box with the picture of your screen in the box, and you have to click that picture of your screen in order to click the share button. So if you're totally confused by what I just said, it'll make sense when you're doing your dry run. All right. Okay, so for the day of, I got this the day before or the day of, it was like the day before, and it had an assessment ID. I did not have to use that. But if for some reason your test is not there when you go in, you're gonna need that assessment ID to pull it up, your test. So make sure you have that written down and available. You can have one piece of paper. One piece of paper. Don't be trying to use two and pull any tricks. Use one piece of paper. That's all you're allowed. For the room, and then if you're doing the test at home, I would suggest doing it in the kitchen where there is absolutely nothing but a kitchen table. And I scanned everything. Like, I scanned the wall, like the ceiling. Like, I scanned underneath the table. Like, don't accuse me of doing anything. Like, I can have my phone out of the room. My phone was on airplane mode or whatever it is. Do not disturb, I should say. Do not disturb. So don't play any games, don't cheat. Yeah, so then during the test, you have a calculator on the screen that's available to you for the entire test. It's not just the math test portion of the test, is for the whole test. And if you're having some kind of issue, like, you can chat with the proctor. It's right on the side of the screen, and you could just type in a chat. Also, the timer is right on the screen, so you know if you're running out of time. And that's basically it with the day of. And now this brings us to after you're done the test. Of course, look at your results. The results are basically instant. I didn't have to wait, thank God, because I would go crazy. But the second you're done and you look at your results, send them off to your school. Your school. if you passed. If you didn't pass, like, I don't know what you would do with the results, whether they would want you to send them or not, but I got a 74% on the whole entire test. Section by section, I did bad on English usage and the math, but everything else I did fine in. So I got a 74, which is high enough because I got all A's and B's in my prereqs. And also, after you're done your test, schedule your appointment with your advisor. Figure out the next step to get into the first nursing class. Go to your information sessions for your college. Basically, like, keep it going. Get into nursing school because you might be close to the deadline and all that. And if you know you're gonna take the TEAS, I would set up your advising appointment before you take the TEAS. Like, if you know you're taking it on the 22nd, schedule your appointment for the 23rd. Okay? Like, don't just keep it moving, okay? Because it's no point in stopping, because it just makes it harder to keep going. Like, you'll get your breaks. But that is basically all I have to say about the TEAS. If you guys have questions about the TEAS, let me know. Like, I can answer any questions you have, hopefully. Because I know I had like a million questions when I was studying, and I went on Facebook. I'm on like Somebody's Surviving Nursing School with Nurse Angie. I'm on that list, that group on Facebook. So I was on there like asking questions, and everybody was so awesome. They would be like, girl, just do this. Girl, yeah, I had that kind of question. Yeah, I did, blah, blah, blah. They answered all my questions. So I want to be that for you guys. Let me know if you have any questions, please. And let me stop running my mouth, okay? I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.